This testimony exposed the devil agenda to capture the souls of children from very young age through satanic cartoon which depict character that are in reality demons. Children exposed to these demonic cartoons get demonized and influenced by evil power without the realization of parent. Ben 10 is a media franchise created by Man of Action Studios and produced by Cartoon Network Studios. The franchise revolves around a boy named Ben Tennyson, a young boy on a summer vacation road trip with his cousin and their grandfather. On their first night camping in their grandfather's RV, Ben finds an alien pod with a mysterious watch-like device named the Omnitrix. Ben acquires this watch-like alien device called the Omnitrix, which allows him to transform into 10 different alien creatures who are in reality demons of hell. The device attaches itself to his wrist, giving him the ability to transform into various alien life forms, each with its own unique skills and powers. With his newfound superpowers, Ben has to learn the responsibilities of being a hero. This cartoon displays several different creatures with different shapes and sizes that have obscure and monstrous appearance. They look like devilish figures. During their vacation, his family are attacked by various enemies ranging from space aliens and supernatural entities and intergalactic entity like Hex. The Ben 10 franchise has received wide critical acclaim. Ben 10 is a drawing with lots of adventures and full of creatures with monstrous appearance. Many Christian parents are failing to understand the deep and widespread satanic manipulation behind these cartoon on children. There is an obscure force and influence behind this cartoon and animated series that are so successful among the children's audience. This is the testimony of a mother with a shocking story, and extremely frightening testimony that is related to cartoon. Among alien creature that the boy was turning to was the character called Beast Calls and 4 Arms. Among others, the boy could also become a creature called Isex, a figure of somewhat obscure appearance who have what it looks like horns on his head. According to this cartoon, Alan X have the power to be omnipotent, a word quoted in the Bible only. The devil is familiarizing the children with evil spirit of hell that are cursing and influencing their development. In this cartoon, Ben could also turn to these character and creature called Ghost Freak and Phantasmatic. The strange thing is that these characters in children cartoon look like evil spirit. Among their superhero ability is the ability to dwell and own the bodies of people and have the control over them, and some of these creatures that Ben can turn to have a strange appearance and diabolical voice that reminds us very much demonic possession and exorcism. What I'm going to tell you happened 9 years ago. People who know me are aware of what I went through because of cartoon and animated series. My son Emmanuel was just 3 years old when Ben 10 was broadcasting in TV. When he began to watch it, quickly he got addicted to it. He loved it so much. I also got carried away. Considering that he liked it, I began to watch it with him. I began to enjoy watching this cartoon with him. I was even reciting magic password of transformation of Ben 10 with him. Later on I began to buy him toys of this cartoon of Ben 10. Most of his stuff in his room were related to character of Ben 10. He had sneakers on his bedlinen. He had many dolls of Ben 10. Later I bought him watches of Ben 10. I could buy these toys from Ben 10 and only. Then God started giving me dreams of warning about this cartoon, but I did not have the spiritual maturity that I have today. When the Lord was speaking to me, I ignored his voice and warning. God always speaks to his children to warn them of dangers one way or another. But many children of God lack vigilance, prudence and wisdom. When you hear the Lord and you fail to act, you will suffer the consequence. We are called to be vigilant in this world because the devil has his trap and ambush everywhere. I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. When the Lord gave me a dream about this cartoon, I knew that the message was from the Lord. However, I wanted to do the will of my son and not the will of God. I disobeyed the voice of God. As a result, I paid a high price for my disobedience. I went on to buy Ben 10 watch because my son wanted to emulate the main character in Ben 10 series who was turning to different alien life form and intergalactic being thanks to a device that was similar to a watch. These alien creatures were in reality demons. Every time Ben 10 released a new watch, I wanted to buy it in order to please my son Emmanuel, who was pretending to be the main character. I thought it was beautiful. I would laugh when he was imitating the transformation of the main character into these demons and space alien, until one day my son pressured me to buy an expensive Ben 10 watch that was a living watch. While the clock of this watch was beating, it was climbing a tower, and it lit up all the tower that appear like in 3D illustration, and instead of ringing a ringtone, the clock was playing words that were recited by these intergalactic alien who were in reality demon. Those demons spoke few words in English. These words were hidden curses. Then I had a dream about these watch called Omnitrix. I dreamed that I was wearing that watch, and when I pressed the clock button for transformation, immediately one of the main creature of the series began to speak. I did not understand, but it's now that I know that it was a demon talking. The word of this demon was in itself cursing, but I was like a spiritual baby and blind because what I wanted was to please my son. When Emmanuel was about to reach 4 years, I decided to make him a surprise. My son asked me for a band of children to play Ben 10 characters. He said, I want a Ben 10 group simulating the expedition. While we were preparing the party, I was dreaming many dolls and toys of Ben 10 character that were demons, but I ignore this dream because I was naive. In that dream I saw my son surrounded by dolls and toys of Ben 10 characters and monsters. He said to me, Mom, I will miss you. I did not get it yet. I continued to prepare this party, but I wanted to do it. I was determined to do it. It was one night as I was sleeping. I turned right, I looked, and I saw the monstrous alien called the Four Arms inside my room. I wonder what am I seeing? He was red with very strong and big arms. He was the size of my wardrobe. When I turned, I noticed that he was looking at me. Then I saw another character called the Q2. These were intergalactic alien and cartoon character, but I saw them in their true nature. They were demon. When I did this party, I invited people. I remember the weather was cloudy on that day. I was in my backyard asking God not to allow this rain on that day, but I was afraid of something. The party went well on that day. When it finished, we went to bed. While we were sleeping, then my son had a febrile seizure. It was so sudden that I had no time to get medicine. I was so much in panic that there was no time to do whatsoever. Only those who have gone through this know how it is terrible. You see a person like my beloved son Emmanuel having convulsion. It was desperation. I never imagined that one day it was going to be the end of my son. We went to bed last night in an atmosphere of celebration, but we started the day in the hospital. I was desperate, disheveled, barefoot, asking help at that children's hospital, and when I got there I stayed without understanding what was happening. My son was diagnosed with epilepsy, which is a demonic sickness. I took him to a neurologist. He told me that at any time he could have a fatal seizure and die. When I heard this, I went into a deep depression. I could not sleep. I stayed around his bed awake looking to his movement. I did not have peace. Later on, the Lord through his servant encouraged me and told me, you have to declare and say louder that your son is not epileptic. You have to speak because your word has power. Nevertheless, I had to pay the price, disobedience. I warned you, but you will pass this test. However, my son went through 6 months of treatment. He took medicine that was so strong that he had to sleep for a long time. After a while, the neurosurgeon made a last exam, and the doctor said he is not epileptic. My son was my idol. I was bending to his will instead of God's will. As a result, I had to pay this price. In the end, God restored his health. After recovering, he did not have any sequel of epilepsy. I'm here to tell that it's important to pay attention to the Lord warning. In order to escape judgment, he showed me the dangers, but I wanted to please my son, so I pay the price for it. When this happened, I took all the dolls, toys and clothes of Ben 10 and I threw them away. I paid a terrible price of depression. Beloved, when God speaks to you, you have to obey. God have used pastors to alert parents about the many cartoon. The Bible tells us to teach children the way they must walk. Even so, many parents leave their children for hours before programs that seem harmless, but which may perhaps bring bad consequences and many negative things. The devil is bewitching child and sowing rebellion in them through satanic cartoon.